What is the fastest way you have seen someone ruin their life?
Experience 1. A close friend of my best friend grabbed his 8-year-old son's new skateboard and took off down a hill in Georgia. Hit a rock, landed on his head, and had permanent brain damage. He lived years before he mercifully died. Had to be restrained the whole time because the damage made him erratic and violent. Wear a helmet. Experience 2. I'm a lawyer. Another well-respected lawyer in my jurisdiction was involved in an absolutely huge property settlement involving dozens upon dozens of deeds, side agreements, financial documents, yada yada yada. The whole lot, presumably involving literally 100 or so signatures, had been signed off by her client. In the early hours of the morning, having no doubt slaved away for untold hours getting everything ready for the settlement the next day, she must have realized that she had missed getting one signature on one minor document from her client, so she faked it. I can see the pressure she was under and how she probably thought it doesn't matter. My client would have signed it anyway and only didn't because they overlooked it. No one will ever notice. Someone noticed and she went from high-paid property lawyer to never being able to practice again, just like that. People occasionally ask me to sign things off as a lawyer and suggest I overlook minor irregularities such as wanting me to witness a signature even though I didn't actually see the signatory sign. Then they get all offended and act like I'm being a stick-up-the-ass perfectionist when I won't do it. Experience 3. Watched a guy gamble $30,000 away in a night and then cried about losing his life savings, and security had to get involved and escort him out because he started to get angry at the dealers because all they could offer him was free night stays at the hotel for playing so much, but he wanted free play at the tables and slots, and they refused. Experience 4. Bar fight. Heard a loud commotion for about 30 seconds. Some guy thought this guy was hitting on his date. Suckered punched him. The other guy fell down and clipped the bar. The bar had a brass footrest at the base. Snapped the guy's neck so loud you could hear it across the room. Experience 5. A previous classmate of mine robbed and shot a taxi driver in the back of the head when he was 1714. Edit: I remembered incorrectly. The classmate was 14 at the time, pretty sure he had dropped out of school, but this was close to 30 years ago. There was a 17-year-old accomplice who planned it but didn't actually pull the trigger. If you want to Google it, LeVar Jones, Lancaster, Pennsylvania should do the trick. Experience 6. Watched a buddy spend his entire life savings betting on the Paulo Costa versus Adesanya. I begged him not to do it and he lost his and his wife's entire 60,000 nest egg. She left him immediately with the kids and now he lives at his mom's house. Edit: wow, this blew up. So, a little more backstory. He had been betting on prize fighting for a short while and winning. Nothing outrageous, and heck, I even bet with him on a time or two because it was smaller bets, 1 to 200. He had been winning and probably made a few grand, not sure how much, but he was always saying he won and showing off his bets. So, I can confirm he had been winning and his luck was pretty impressive. As far as I know, he doesn't gamble anymore and is just trying to rebuild his life. He lost his wife but does spend a lot of time with the kids. Experience 7. One use of meth. Seen so many people and friends jump right off the deep end by just trying it, and after 20 years have yet to jump out of the self-made dumpster fire that is their life. Nasty stuff, meth. Experience 8. The dude I worked with came back after a weekend and told everyone he had tried meth, and he liked it. Like a month later, he came into my workspace and asked for a pair of pliers. I gave them to him, and he pulled a tooth right there in front of me like it was nothing. He quit shortly after, not sure what happened to him. He was very young, like 20 maybe. Experience 9. A senior girl from my college pushed another girl she was friends with off a 30-foot bridge into the water as a joke, broke her neck and collarbone, and she's permanently in a wheelchair. Edit: holy crap, this blew up while I was asleep. I'll answer some questions. 1. I got feet and meters mixed up only around a 30-foot drop. 2 days in the hospital for her friend and 2 days in jail for the girl who pushed her. She spent the same time in jail as the victim spent in the hospital. It's screwed up. 3. The parents of the victim chose not to press charges. 4. It was not Taylor Smith. 5. I've seen similar stories online but successfully found the actual story. It's not the one that went viral. Experience 10. A friend of mine drove his bike without a helmet, had the helmet but didn't bother to wear it. It was late at night. We were having a party at my home, and he was coming to join us. It had rained earlier, so the roads were wet. His motorbike unfortunately slipped and he fell, hitting his head on the curb. Some passers-by called the ambulance. We got to know about it early in the morning from his parents. His head trauma caused him to go into a coma. He never came back from it. He was in a coma for a few months and then sadly passed away. He was a chill dude, if only he wore the helmet while driving. Rest easy Delson. Edit. He was an avid biker and drove his bike across the country all the way to the Himalayas. He used to wear a helmet all the time except for that fateful night. I was having a party at my home, barbecue or beer or whiskey and all that. He was going to join us after work. He had the helmet on him even that day. I will never know why he decided to not wear it that day. Experience 11. I posted this once before. I had a friend who had a promising career who got upset and went into full road rage for a woman who forgot to turn her blinker on, and he slightly bumped her back bumper on the freeway, causing her to lose control and flip over and killing the driver and her 2 daughters. Oddly, it was all caught on his car dash cam, and a trucker with his own dash cam was behind him. He is now doing 40+ years in prison. Post update. I wasn't expecting much attention on this story. Additional details that people keep asking me. I can't say we were close friends or good friends. We hung out during our high school years. I may have seen him a couple of times afterwards. He moved out of state. Most information I got was from his sister. I do know that he is in jail for what he did. Now I'm not sure if his sister is not giving me the full story, but I do know he definitely received a high jail sentence. I know he went to college for marketing. I believe he was interning for a high-end sports marketing company. Experience 12. My sister started doing meth and heroin. She went from super smart to completely dumb. By the age of 19, she was already a felon. No one in the family wants to help her anymore cause each time we tried either sending her to rehab or tried getting her sober, she would just go back to it. Was supposed to go to college, but now she is 22 and stays at different people's houses and begs people for money. Completely cut me and everyone else off from her cause she thinks us trying to help her is us being jealous and not wanting her to be happy in life. Experience 13. 15 to 20 years ago, an ex worked at a dream job type of place. If you make it professionally in that field, this employer was / is the absolute peak. There is no better place to go. A new guy started there, on X's team, right out of university. On his first day, he went to the company store and got all the gear with the company's name on it, t-shirt, hat, socks, etc., and proudly put it all on. After work, the team took the new guy out for drinks to celebrate his first day at his dream job employer. The new guy gets way too drunk, goes outside to smoke a cig, and then takes his penis out and presses it up against the bar's glass window. Penis man's new colleagues, all the bar's patrons, and all their staff see his dick. X closed out their tab and got drunk guy home. The bar calls the employer the next morning, complaining about the new guy's dick antics, banning him and anyone wearing company gear. New guy was fired before lunch, on day 2. A cautionary story. Edit. The bar was in a never gentrified, always wealthy part of SF. CA patrons were very wealthy people, entitled. Myself, having worked in fine dining in college, I can only imagine the absolute hell those patrons raised about seeing some idiot's dick while slurping down their third martini. Many of you relate to this story and have shared about not even wearing something as small as a lanyard with company info on it. This is all great logic. Please keep it up and share that advice. It is especially pertinent when your employer, like the subject of my story, is known globally for children's entertainment. Exposing yourself to anyone, let alone a bunch of connected, rich assholes, is definitely not the move when Pixar signs your check. Experience 14. I wound up having to change the number for my first real cell phone because the previous owner of that number still kept giving it out. Apparently, she had just moved, and her old job couldn't get a hold of her to send her last check. Her new job couldn't get a hold of her to get her schedule. Her vet couldn't get her to pick up her cat. I got calls from her leasing company who needed documentation to secure her apartment. Every single day was some new way an idiot was screwing up her finances, her housing, her job, her pets, her social life, all because she couldn't remember her new phone number. After a month, I finally got fed up and had the number changed. Melissa, if you were supposed to be a massage therapist for the PGA Tour in 2013, I hope you eventually got your stuff together. Experience 15. My cousin, 18-year-old female, finished her senior year early, so she was basically just waiting for May to do the graduation and get her diploma. She worked at a lake restaurant and had started hanging out with a bad crowd. At this time, she had been smoking a lot of weed and drinking, as well as being generally reckless all the time. She was my best friend, so she texted me to tell me about everything she did basically. One night she texted me to tell me that she had tried meth and it was the best high of her life, but she will never do it again. Exactly 1 month after that text she overdosed and died. They put her portrait in her graduation seat and her dad got to walk and pick up her diploma. Experience 16. I watched this clip on Reddit where these two kids were posing with a gun. The girl in the video accidentally shot the boy in the head. She panicked and shot herself. That crap changed me, it all happened so fast. I don't think the clip was longer than 30 seconds. Experience 17. An acquaintance. He had a good job, a nice truck, a mortgage on a nice home, minimal debt, and a relationship with someone out of his league. Before I knew him, he'd had a DUI, but his attorney got him a plea deal that dropped the DUI down to a minor charge. A real lucky break. All he had to do was stay the course. He could have walked home that night. It was less than 2 miles. But he was too proud to leave his truck at the bar, so instead he wrapped it around a power pole. No one was hurt, including him. The judge who got his case was furious to learn his previous DUI had been pled down. The judge rejected a plea deal and vowed to throw the book at him. There was a prison, then a year on house arrest. His job required a driver's license, so that was gone. I don't know at what point in his house arrest he could have started working, but he refused to. His former employer offered him a non-driving job, less money but still good money. He turned it down because it was beneath him. He said the same thing to 2 jobs his girlfriend single-handedly secured for him. Even after his house arrest, he refused to work. He said he didn't want to. Apparently yelling at his girlfriend to pay his mortgage was better than working. She finally got the courage to leave. His parents found him dead. No one will ever know if he intended to drink himself to death or whether it just happened. His parents blamed the girlfriend. Apparently, the world would still be graced by his presence if she had stayed to get hit and yelled at. Please don't drive drunk. Not ever. Not even a little. If you're not sure, just don't. And if you suspect you have the disease of addiction, please get help. I don't really care that this person died, but he hit a lot of innocent branches on the way down. A lot of suffering for no reason. Experience 18. A former friend of mine was arrested for soliciting an 11-year-old for sexual favors online and traveling across the state to meet her. I never expected him to do that. His girlfriend at the time asked if I wanted to be a character witness, and I noped out before she finished her sentence. The judge made an example out of him and sentenced him to life. Apparently, it wasn't his first SA offense. I can't believe she even stuck around to even consider looking for people to testify on his behalf. Edit, he got the girl to do stuff to him in his car. He was only caught after her friend saw pictures of her boyfriend and realized he was way too old to be an 11-year-old's boyfriend and told the girl's mother. He was 31 when he was sentenced.
We hope you enjoyed listening to today's stories. If you want to see more stories, check out these videos or check the links in the description for more videos. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And ring that notification bell.